Good morning and welcome to another edition of Newspaper Review. I'm your host, Adeleke. We have a number of newspapers to review this morning with interesting headlines. Headlines ranging from the Edo gubernatorial election, the flooding, and the revenue. So starting from the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have 20 governors borrow fresh 446 billion naira as revenue tumbles. 3 marketers to import 104 million litre petrol. Our federal government earned $1.29 billion from telecom license, says Obasanjo. Well, the governor poll, 35,000 cops arrive Edo as joint force begin patrol. Military NSCDC patrol back up police team. INEC tracks ballot boxes movement. We move to the front page of the Nation newspaper. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, we have End Banditry Killings Now. Danjuma tells service chiefs. Tinubu signed peace accord. Presidency counters Kuka. Moving on to the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. End Terrorism Now. You have no excuses. Danjuma tells service chief. Troops neutralizes 4 bandits. Rescues 20 captives in Kaduna. Still on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Let's tackle misinformation together. Idris tags China Media Group. Borno flooding. NEDC tops with 3 billion naira, Dantata 1.5 billion naira as victim gets over 7 billion naira support. Moving on to the front page of the Matrix newspaper, we have still on the issue of insecurity, no excuses and banditry. TV Danjuma charges CDS Musa, saying number 1 problem today is insecurity. We cannot afford to fail. We will not fail, says General Musa. State police is a necessity, says Governor Cerny. 13,346 killed, 9,207 adopted across 667 of 774 local governments. Amnesty International, federal government issue alert as Cameroon said to release water from Lagdo Dam. Moving to the front page of the Daily News Up newspaper. Petrol subsidy removal threatens Nigerians' external reserves, CBN cries out. Federal government, states, council shares 1.203 trillion naira for August 2024. Moving to the front page of the Daily Suns, we have flood threatens. NDDC builds multi-purpose emergency shelter. Ex-Sokoto Governor Bafarawa donates 1 billion naira to states. Well, a lot of newspapers to review. I'm not alone in the studio this morning, and I'm with Citizen Lolawe. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, Adeleke Hassan. Yes. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
Yes, thank you very much, ma. Well, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have 35,000 cops arrives Edo as joint forces begin patrol.
Wow. That is, it's not a piece of good news to me because we ought to have outgrown the need for cops, for police officers and other military officers and paramilitary to be asked to go and ensure that Nigerians do the needful during electoral processes. Because by now we ought to have understand the need for us to eschew violence in our electoral process. The laws, the amended electoral laws, was to ensure that there are no violence. The many peaceful peace accords that are signed are also to enhance the peaceful conduct of our elections. the civic education provided by both INEC, National Orientation Agency, and the individual, the different political parties should also discourage Nigerians from embarking on a do-or-die action during during our elections. Our religious organizations also have a role to play in ensuring that peace reigns. So it is because we lose a lot of money when security officers of security agencies are sent to go and prevent the breakdown of law and order. The cost of moving them, the cost of taking care of them outside their regular allocation, and the cost of rewarding them for the work that they are sent there to do, whether they do the right thing or even aid, because there are reports at times that they even aid the wrongdoings
and disruptions.
They collect money and look away and allow violence to take place. So I always question the need for them to be sent or to be sent out during elections, denying them the opportunity of participating in the electoral process on its own, because they are denied the opportunity once they are on duty. On duty, either doing the right thing or the wrong thing because of corruption. Then is there even any need for it? I will say no, there is no need if we understand the importance of exercising our civic rights. Nobody will need to force us to remain peaceful and orderly. So I think this is the time for us, for all hands, to be on deck to ensure that henceforth we do not need to send out officers of security agencies to go and ensure the peaceful and orderly conduct of elections in Nigeria. So we are saying Nigeria is the world capital of poverty, and we are wasting the meager resources that we have on things that we can do away with. We are all crying about hardship, but this is how we waste our resources on activities that can be avoided. So I'm appealing to all religious leaders, to all traditional rulers, to all political leaders, and to all agencies of governments at all levels to educate Nigerians so that they understand the importance of their exercising their civic rights. It's their power. As citizens of Nigeria, we occupy a very powerful office, but because we do not know the importance of the office that we occupy and the power of that office, we are regularly being shortchanged, directly and indirectly. We're wasting resources on unnecessary services that have been provided.
Thank you very much. We'll move to the front page of the Nation newspaper. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, we have "End Banditry Killings Now," Danjuma tells service chiefs.
I think that order, yes, the service chiefs have a role to play in ending banditry, but I do not think that military action alone is going to solve that problem. All hands, all well-meaning Nigerians must join hands with the military to end banditry. First of all, all Nigerians must watch what they say. to encourage the military to do the needful. We must support their family members when they lose their loved ones at battlefront with these terrorists and bandits. We must stop celebrating money baths whose sources of wealth are not known, because that is how we encourage banditry, because people see it as the quickest way to amass wealth. And then sometimes when I see the hungry looking people that are paraded as bandits, I wonder who the godfathers of those bandits are. Because when you see those hungry looking people, you know that they are not the one receiving the money. It is trickles that get to them. Those who get the bulk of the money are never arrested, because they are never in the bush. They are never in the forest. They live in the cities. They monitor the activities. And then as the military is giving out, and the paramilitary are giving out information about the progress they are making, they are also able to maneuver those planned action. And then citizens also need to provide useful information to the relevant agencies. Citizens must not give out information about movements of the military to the bandits and terrorists that live with us, to prevent them from being ambushed while trying to protect us, and while trying to put an end to banditry and terrorism in Nigeria. Our religious leaders must stop celebrating money bags, must stop honoring political office holders, honor the people of character, people of proven character, to encourage others to emulate their behavior in the society. That is how to put an end to banditry. Let us also, all Nigerians must also look at how we can create employment for the army of unemployed Nigerians that are waiting to be recruited by these terrorists and bandits. In the northern part of Nigeria, efforts must be made to ensure that all children of school age go to school, receive qualitative and affordable education, and are also properly guided. If there is need for there to be a disorientation about there being a reward in heaven for the number of people killed, or the number of virgins killed, or the number of women abducted, or the number of child soldiers recruited, please let that be. All hands must be on deck. All sermons should be about bringing about peace in Nigeria, restoring peace to Nigeria. Because without peace, we can't make progress. We need peace to make progress in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. We move to the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. On the front page of the Blueprint newspaper, you also have "Enterprises now, you have no excuses." Danjuma tells service chiefs. Let's tackle misinformation together. Idris tax China media group.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because misinformation is creating a lot of problems. You no longer even know what is true.
Exactly.
And what is false. So Nigeria needs to join hands with other media houses worldwide to put an end to misinformation, disinformation, and outright
False
false news in Nigeria. I agree with that.
Thank you very much. Still on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper, we have Borno flooding. NEDC tops with 3 billion naira down to 1.5 billion naira as victims get over 7 billion naira support.
I want to say a big thank you to those kind-hearted Nigerians and organizations that have donated money for the victims of the flooding in Borno State. But my worry is this. I hope that the victims themselves will get the true benefits of the donations that has been made to them. That the funds will not be mismanaged. We have seen and read stories about how humanitarian funds were mismanaged in Nigeria.
Even embezzled.
And embezzled. I hope this will not go the same way. They should give us an account. They must be transparent and accountable in the way the money is spent. They must make it public. They should make it public. Because the flooding that happened in Borno State is a public issue and it's of public interest. So the way the funds will be utilized or is utilized should also be made public to ensure that there's transparency and accountability in its disbursements, to ensure that the victims get the real value of the donation of the funds donated for them.
Thank you very much. Still on the now we'll move to the front page of the Matrix newspaper. On the front page of the Matrix newspaper, we have federal government issues alert as Cameroon set to release water from Lagdo Dam. I'm
glad that federal government has issued an alert, but what are the provisions being put in place to ensure that those who are at risk are taken to safe places, and that their means of livelihood are also protected, and that their properties are also secured before the Lagdo Dam is released, before the water from the Lagdo Dam is released. It's one thing to raise an alarm. It's another thing to make adequate preparation for when the deed is going to be done. We also have learned from what happened in the past. A stitch in time saves nine. This is the time to act. We ought to have acted since last year.
But we are just raising alarm.
That's why we're saying it's not enough to raise alarm. What is required is to make adequate preparation and act as swiftly as possible to ensure that no one is caught when the Lagdo Dam water is released.
Thank you very much. We move to the front page of the Daily News Hub newspaper. On the front page of the Daily newspaper, we have federal government, states, councils share 1.023 trillion naira for August 2024.
Wow, it seems there's a kind of reduction in the amount of money that was shared, but my concern is actually if citizens know that they have a duty to monitor the funds that are released to states and local governments areas to ensure that those funds are being used for the benefit of all citizens. We must monitor every kobo to ensure that Naira take care of itself. If we look after the kobo, Naira will take care of itself. But if we look away and say, how much is it? 1 naira. Just a kobo. Then, by the time you put a kobo in a billion places together, we know the number of naira that has been lost. So we must learn to track the funds when they are released, to when and how they be utilized. It is not enough for us to go to sleep and only come back to cry wolf.
When there's problem.
When there's problem. This is a time to act. It's a joint responsibility for all of us. All eyes must be opened, all hands must be on deck to ensure that dividends of democracy that we gain, that we have, there are gains of dividend democracies. Dividend of democracy will not be served if we go to sleep. We will only get dividends of democracy when we demand for accountability. And then we cannot demand for accountability when we do not even know how much was released, what it was used for. And then it is not enough for them to think for us. We are not idiots. We know what we need. We must engage government at all levels to know what we need, what we want, not what they think we need, or where they think we need it, or when they think we need it. The road to Orai Igomina has been passable, terrible, horrible, for a very long period. I'm appealing to all government at all levels to look at that road. It's an important road. That road links Osun State with Kwara, with Ekiti, and even with the remaining northern part of Nigeria. The cost of transportation in that area is very high. The moment you get to Ila-Orogun, it seems as if you have gotten to the end of the road, because the road is impassable. To go to Okela, to go to Orai Igomina, it's very bad. And these towns are important towns in Osun State. I'm appealing to government at all levels to do something about that road.
Thank you very much. We move to the front page of the Daily Sun's newspaper. On the front page of the daily newspaper, and headline, ex-Sokoto Governor Bafarawa donates 1 billion naira to states.
I'm glad. That's good news. I'm glad that a past governor or a citizen has remembered to give back to the society. And we want to use that to challenge others, not only past political office holders, but Nigerians that are blessed. This is a time for them to assist the less privileged in the society. Give something back to the society. People are crying, Nigerians are crying about hardship. This is a time to feel the presence of the well-to-do ones in our society. People, ordinary Nigerians, are giving out scholarships to indigent students to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. And they are doing it silently. But those who have occupied political offices, who have had access to funds, common funds, should please think of giving back to the society. They should not give to the society only when they need our votes. This is the time for them to demonstrate that they truly love us and not our votes, to get them into office, which will give them access to public treasury. If they love us, it is this time of hardship that people are crying of hunger, that they should come to our aid.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for coming on the show with us this morning. It's lovely having you, Ma.
It's a pleasure being here every Wednesday.
Thank you very much. And with that, we come to the end of today's edition of Newspaper Review. Join us tomorrow, same time, same station. Good morning.